and China are back on track. Today, the two countries signed 13 agreements designed to further strengthen their bilateral ties. The signing of the agreements followed bilateral talks between Presidents Rodrigo Duterte and Xi Jinping at the Beijing's Great Hall of the People. More of this from Rocky Ignacio.
President Rodrigo Duterte and his delegations were formally welcomed by Chinese President Xi Jinping. A welcome ceremony was given to the president at the Great Hall of the People, China's seat of power. The president is in China for a 4-day state visit. This was the first time that President Duterte and President Xi Jinping have met amidst tension in the South China Sea. In an expanded bilateral meeting, President Duterte expressed his gratitude for the warm welcome given to him and to his delegation. The president gave recognition for the long-standing friendships of the two countries for 41 years. He even described his visit to China as significant. The Philippines and China have signed 30 Memorandum of Understanding, MOU on Production Capacity and Investment Cooperation, and the Agreement on Economic and Technological Cooperation between the Government of China and the Philippines, MOU on Strengthening Trade, Investment, and Economic Cooperation, the MOU on Drafting China-Philippines Economic Cooperation Development Plans, and the Tourism MOU Implementation Plan 2017-2022. MOU on the list of transportation and infrastructure cooperation projects, and the MOU on financing cooperation between China's Exim Bank and the Department of the Treasury of the Philippines, Agricultural Cooperation Action Plan 2017-2019, and the Protocol on Cooperation between PIDEA and the Philippines and the Narcotics Control Bureau of the Ministry of Public Security of China, MOU on the establishment of a Joint Coastal Guard Committee on Maritime Cooperation, and the MOU on supporting conduct of feasibility studies for major projects, MOU on news information exchange training and for other purposes, MOU on cooperation on animal and plant inspection and quarantine. Vice Foreign Minister Luis Jimenez said that the relations of the Philippines and China are now back on track. The two leaders have agreed to strengthen their consultation and dialogues on significant issues such as the South China Sea. The Chinese government has allowed the Philippines to export tropical fruits like mangoes. President Xi Jinping also lifted the travel advisory against the Philippines.
The two presidents also had in-depth discussions on enhancing the practical cooperation between two countries across the board, and they have reached broad agreement. The two countries will build up the complementarity of their development strategies. China welcomes and supports Philippines' participation in the building of the Maritime Silk Road. And China will also increase cooperation with the Philippines in infrastructure, agriculture, and finance. China will also take an active part in the infrastructure development in the Philippines and provide financing support to the Philippines in this aspect. China also supports the Philippines' efforts in drug trafficking and will carry out law enforcement cooperation with the Philippines. The two countries will also strengthen cooperation in fishery and tourism. President Xi Jinping has announced that China will lift the travel advices issued a few years ago to Chinese citizens traveling to the Philippines, and this lift will encourage more Chinese citizens to travel in the Philippines. The Chinese side has also resumed permits to 27 Philippine companies exporting tropical fruits to China, including mangoes. In one word, the two countries will have a very good cooperation in areas such as agriculture, science, and technology.
President Duterte's visit here is expected to enhance the diplomatic and economic relations between the Philippines and China. For PTV News, Rocky Ignacio, Beijing, China.